In this video, we're going to walk through how to create a box plot in Excel and in Google. We'll start with Excel. Here we have our data that we just worked with by hand, the high temperatures for 32 states in Fahrenheit. We're going to select our data and come up to the Insert tab and go over to this statistic chart button. It's next to our line chart. So we'll click the drop down and we see that we have a box and whisker plot here. We'll click on that and unfortunately it's giving us 4 different sets, and this is essentially because I have my data split across 4 different rows. So we're going to try to fix this, and I'm going to walk you through how to do that. So I'm going to select the blue one and we'll click on Select Data. I'm going to remove my legends. Oh, no, I don't want to do that. Do I want to do that? We'll go to Select Data, and I'm going to Edit. Notice the series value says A1 to H1. I actually want A1 to H4. I'm taking all 4 rows. Oh, and it doesn't like that. It's telling me no, don't do that. Okay, so what that means is we need to move our data around. So I'm going to delete my chart first, and then we're going to cut and paste our data so that it's in one row in our spreadsheet. And then I am going to change my widths so that it's a little bit closer together. And now we're going to repeat that process. Select our data, make sure that it's in all one row or all one column. Insert, Statistical Tables, Box and Whisker. And when we click on that, we have our box and whisker plot. Unfortunately, there are 2 things that are odd about this. The first one is this is graphed vertically instead of horizontally. We usually graph our box and whisker plot horizontally. Excel does it vertically. Essentially, you just have to turn your graph so that you're sitting on the right of this graph. So the 0's on the left and the 140's on the right. We'll rotate it clockwise to get it in the right orientation. But the way that this is, it's not helpful. Our box is very small, our whiskers are very small. There's a lot of wasted space down here. So we're going to try to clean some stuff up. If I click on my y-axis, I double click on the labels, I have some options. Over here with the bars, I see axis options. I don't want my minimum to be 0. I'm thinking maybe we make our minimum 100 because that's what we made our other one. Now I'm actually going to make my minimum 99. Let's see if we can do this. Oh, that looks terrible. Play around with it. Make it 95. Starting it at 95, we can see the minimum and the maximum plotted pretty nicely on our graph. And there's some strangeness going on in this graph, not just the fact that it's vertical, but there's also a dot here. What do you think that dot represents? Let's find out. I know we calculated the 5-number summary by hand, and we also did it in Excel. Okay, so here's something that I'm kind of glad I did, even though I'm doing it right in the middle of this lesson, trying to show what that dot is representing on our box and whisker plot. When I use quartile.inc or quartile.exe, I'm getting a different value than what we calculated by hand. We calculated that Q1 should be 108, but I'm not getting that. Whether I use INC or EXE, I'm getting something different. So I'm going to abandon the quartile method and do the median of the values. I have to pick the correct 114. So the 114 in the first half is going to be the second one. So from A to P. There's our 108. And then our maximum max 134, and then we'll do median again, starting with the other 114Q and going to the end. There we get the 118 that we're expecting. We're able to get the 5-number summary. So if I calculate the interquartile range, which is Q3 minus Q1, I get 10. 1.5 times the interquartile range is going to give me 15. And then if I say Q3 plus 1.5 times the IQR, Q3 is 118, I get 133. 133 is my maximum usual value for my data set, but my actual maximum value is 134. This dot that's sitting here is sitting here because 134 is considered an outlier in our data set. And that's okay. Just know that if you have dots in the technology, we're really just seeing what the technology is considering as an outlier.